Yo, what's up, fam? What's up? What it do? Welcome to K&M Witchery or Readings by K&M. I'm Kat Nicoletta Monroe, for those of y'all who may not know. And I was called to this deck. I have the box somewhere. I don't know what it's called, but knowing me, it's already linked down below. I've never actually used this deck in a reading, or it was gifted to me a long time ago, but it's interesting, my point, that I'm getting called to it now. So let's rock with it. I have no idea what to expect. Something drew y'all in here for a reason, though, so I'm hoping you'll get what you need. Just remember, this is, of course, a YouTube reading. Take only what resonates, leave the rest for another, and do all of the YouTube-y stuff, please. Like, subscribe, comment. I love hearing from you guys, honestly. Holla. First card out. Messages from my soul fam. Please know I intentionally read for my subscribers first, and then I call my energy outwards, okay? Only fair, and that's when I get down to the itty-gritty details. I'm hearing shuffle one more time. Card from the top. Okay, we have Four of Earth. I just heard holding back, waiting for a sign. Six of Maze, not really knowing which way to go. I'm sensing some slight anxieties here with my soul fam. What's going on? What's transitioning for y'all? 13 Shaman. Okay, learning how to trust your intuition. Perhaps maybe learning how to walk with the beat of your own drum. Okay. And that's causing you some blind spots here. That's causing you fear, not really knowing what's going to truly happen. And yet, you're still getting pulled to do it, right? Like, this doesn't look like a bad time. You know, like, it could be worse. But perhaps maybe you're envisioning worse. I'm going to get some more clarifiers here. This card is really pulling to me. We have the Three of Water. Interesting. There's actually a spot around my house that looks pretty much identical to this. Perhaps maybe some of y'all really need to go for a walk, get some clarity, try to find the positives in your perspectives. I'm just getting called to this rainbow here at the top corner. There's something that you need to see that perhaps maybe you don't want to open your eyes to. You're blinded by direction. Again, there's some form of stagnation that's happening here, but it's been also a long time coming. There's a lot of weeds been growing around here. Very natural state. Healing comes out here as well. And yet, the reason why, especially with a shaman here, that inner voice inside is leading you a particular direction, no matter, you're probably going to stumble across here and there, okay? Like, the thing is, okay, before I touch on healing, right? I often get asked the question, am I on the right path? But you pave it with every step that you make, you know? And sometimes this does mean we need to turn around or make a hard left or right. But the thing is, though, is it keeps on going anyways. And there's something that you're seeking here, soul fam, that your fear is holding you back slightly. And yet your intuition is still pushing you forward. And it is causing some bits of stagnation, perhaps maybe in forms of dissociation, the comfort zone. Like, this could be a job as a great example, you know, like you can't find it in you to just quit, even though you absolutely dislike it. And there are opportunities that are knocking, but for some reason, you may even be rejecting those ones, you know, to stay stuck, stagnant. And I mean that with like love in my heart, you know, but here's the thing, soul fam, when we are on a path of healing, our external environments tend to change with us. I always laugh around with my clients and, of course, friends and people who've known me for a long time that, like, every 2 to 3 years, my environment completely changes. I move cities, I move condos, I move continents. Like, I mean, I've kind of done it all. And the reason for that is because when a place no longer aligns to you, your energy starts to reject it. You start to feel uncomfortable. Happiness all of a sudden becomes what's on the other side of this maze, you know? And so you settle, for lack of better words, for a life that you can predict, even if what you're predicting is more chaos and discomfort. you know? And when we get pulled to healing, and I think y'all are on a brink of some really wonderful change, and what's on the other side, or rather what's on the way to that change, is some discomfort, is some unknowing. And yet you have to now listen to your intuition to guide you along, right? You may not really know which way to go, and yet if you listen and you close your eyes and listen to that beat of your own drum, you'll just know. You'll know when you need to, right? Like, as humans, we have this really great habit of trying to predict our problems, our successes, and all of that, right? Like, we want full control of everything. And yet that's not exactly how this life was designed, right? And so what comes up for us as we need to make these turns or not, like we just keep on going, right? Like when you're going down a maze, you pick a direction, you go straight, you pick a direction, left or right, cool, we're going right, we're still going straight until we are at another crossroads and we have a decision to make, and then we keep on going, you know? And it's not until we get here that we have to stress and worry so much. It's about the journey, you know, that cliche quote. So perhaps learn how to enjoy that journey a little bit more. 7 of Air comes out. Yeah, like, let the wind guide you. This is totally like Pocahontas now coming into my noggin. You're going to feel the winds of change. And so long as you're doing it for the right intentions, like you know your why. You know why you're doing something, because no matter how uncomfortable it is, you know that it's going to bring you the most optimal healing it possibly can. Whatever that even looks to you, because healing can come in many forms. So long as we have that intention and we hold true to that. I get pulled to this little star here in the very middle, right? It's like that becomes your North Star, and life guides you. It really does. Intuition is illogical, and yet it all makes sense in perfect divine timing. That's why patience really truly is a virtue. You know? 3 of Air. So we have double the 3s, and yet something is carrying you outside to see different types of horizons, have new experiences, be taught something new and different. First, we go from stuck and stagnant, comfortable, you know, laying out. Like, this is a nice area. Don't get me wrong. I love this kind of spot. And yet, eventually, it's time to migrate, no? Towards better pastures. So you're not going to get stuck in this darn windstorm and winter storm that is inevitably coming. You got to move. And about this rainstorm and winter storm and all these other storms, because I have all of these different types of storms, which is like my kind of vibe. I love it. But like to be stuck and stagnant somewhere, feeling unsafe, that's never really fun, you know? And inevitably though, when the problems that we are looking to predict, they actually arise when we choose stagnancy, when we choose to stay stuck. How it is that we begin to predict our futures better in the long run is being more keen to move. And the more keen you are, the more open you are to it, the more the horizons open up to you, and you're better able to predict which way to go. But it first has to come with the acceptance piece. I just heard 3 or 4 days of darkness. There's this thing people are doing. I don't know much about it, but I've been seeing it on the interwebs about like people wearing these like dark glasses essentially for multiple days, and thus seeing the world completely differently. Once the glasses are off, you really go into yourself. You have all these wonderful revelations with yourself. Whenever your senses are gone, what comes up for you to trust? That's your intuition. And yeah, of course, there are going to be some stumbles and aches along the way, but that's part of it. That's how we learn. And then we know how to better gauge our direction from that experience. Because you see, our minds, our egos just want to keep us safe. That's all we ever want for ourselves. And sometimes, though, when we're not so open to change, what happens is things like addiction becomes our safety net. You know, it's things that we can predict. It's that chaos that we know what's coming up, no matter how painful and abusive it may be to ourselves. And addiction is just one example. I'm not about to open that can of worms because I never intentionally want to trigger you guys, but y'all get it if you're still here. Please give a like if you resonate. I'm getting pulled to the Surrealist Tarot now. All right, so what's the advice for my soul fam? We've come to a bit of an impasse, okay? I would highly recommend y'all please tune into the most recent spiritual check-in, because that can help kind of push you along the way a little bit more, offer a different type of perspective around this type of situation, because I do see some similarities. There's just that leap. There's this faith factor that we are having difficulties with. And that's okay. We're going to get through it anyway. Messages for the soul fam. Card out, the Hermit. I just heard go within. Like, okay. What else we got? Let's pull some more cards before I start talking. We have the Empress. Okay. Spiritual people up in the room. And we have the Three of Cups now in reverse. Okay. I believe the Three of Water is the Three of Cups, if I'm not mistaken. Therefore, air would be the Three of Swords. Perhaps. Of course, it's not depicted like that in these pictures, so this is definitely a deck to use intuitively. Ah, because Spirit just said things are not quite as they seem. The Lovers also came out to clarify the Three of Cups. A decision, a choice. When we give up something, something else gives, something solidifies, right? When we are in a 3, okay? As soon as we are open to releasing something, 2 out of the 3 tends to stabilize. You know, like, there is something as too much. And I feel like I'm speaking a little bit of a riddle here, but it seems to be clicking to some of y'all. Something needs to change, right? Like when we work so hard on evolving and trusting and moving forward and taking these leaps and such, right? We have to let go of something. It comes with a process of stabilizing again. And things become more concrete later on too. The Lovers, now this could have something to do with relationships too, not necessarily. The Lovers is about a choice and about a unity, a balancing between inner masculine and feminine energies, and we do hold both. And this isn't hoopla, this is traditional Chinese medicine, this is chakras, this is the aspects of yourself that exist energetically. And when we balance ourselves out, we really feel, I just keep wanting to say stable, stable, stable. So a lot of y'all could very well be wanting to find more stability because the anxieties around everyday life prior to the change are becoming more overwhelming. And yet what lies on the other side, what direction to go, unknowing, confuses matters. We don't want to. The message is to go within. The Hermit and the Empress comes out. The Empress is the creator. But the thing is about the Empress as well, she's the queen of all queens. To find a balancing between all of the 4 queens and all 4 suits, she must have gone through some serious transformations to get to where she's at. She's not only the creator, but the destroyer. And so the life that you are seeking sometimes requires you to let go or just simply have faith. When we stop hanging on to things so tightly, we receive more of it because we're allowing of this energy other than living in this constant state of perceived loss, which is only a limiting belief. Yin-yang is a constant turn of energies. That symbol, you know, the black and white symbol, the good old yin-yang symbol, the true depiction of it is that this wheel keeps on spinning. It's not a stagnant image. It twirls and spins and go about one into the other. It's constantly in flow. Because sometimes we are to think more logically and other times we are to trust more intuitively. Imagine if you link the two. And perhaps maybe that Three of Cups, the thing that you need to let go is that doubt. That's the third party interference here. Limiting beliefs that were instilled onto you upon growing up. Different values, different lessons were integrated based on your own experiences, which taught you what you no longer want. So my question to the soul fam tuning in is, why are you still hanging on to what it is that you really truly want to let go of? You know? I heard the snaps. So this is a really quick one, soul fam. I wanted to peek right now before I heard the snaps of spirit concluding of what lies on the other side, like what's the outcome here, but the fact of the matter is, soul fam, the choice is yours. Someone on YouTube, and even if you were to book a private reading with me, which you can at knwitchery.com, there's only so much I can guide and tell you. It comes down to what it is that you believe you are deserving of, worthy of, capable of. And sometimes when we choose stagnation, and spirit still inclines us to keep on moving and find the stability and love and harmony in that choice, in this firm decision. I mean, spirit could kind of knock us out until we finally get what it is that we really want, and we have to hit rock bottom in order to break through, you know? Or you can choose to jump up and break through glass ceilings. Either way, a breakthrough occurs. One is just more willing than the other. But one is still as important as the other. It's just a matter of which direction it is that we really want to take. Do we want to stay stuck, stagnant, and in fear? All right. Do we want to push forward and try it out, see what happens, trust our gut? All right. The choice is yours in which area you want to really dive into for yourself. That choice is yours. I don't know. I keep hearing my snaps. Spirit just keeps telling me to knock it off and cut it off. And even my dog is starting to mirror spirit sympathies there. And sympathies, interesting. Okay. I meant suggestions, but nevertheless, my sympathy goes out to y'all. That word was no mistake. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you staying? Are you going? Like, what's your choice here? What's happening? What's your situation? Do you need more personal insight in about this? Because if the answer is yes, come chat. knwitchery.com. I got you. Otherwise, I'll see y'all in another video. Take care. Peace.